Does Fox say?
Happy half
Welcome
hour
to the
day.
Happy Half Hour. I'm Mojo with here, Steve-O, Derek, and Happy, because it's Happy Half Hour. Yeah. All right.
You know, I was just thinking while you're doing that, like we have to be flipping people out. We have to be freaking people out.
Just don't flip them off. If flip
I
them
know.
off,
Yeah, no, the people flip off. We just freak them out. I mean, instead of flipping people off, just flip people out. I mean, just we have. I know we come on strong. I'm not going to apologize because that's who we are. But if you're just coming into it cold, man, it's like busting out of the sauna going into the ice water. I mean, we don't be scared. We are here to pour you some digital courage.
Hey, Kristen Brown is tuned in on TikTok. Nice to see you, Kristen Brown. Thanks for joining us. Yes, I am Joseph Mojo McCarthy. I am the host of the show. I co-host with Steve O'Hayes, there on the right of my screen on Chatmosa. You can't see him on TikTok because we're still figuring out how to make this technology work. But I appreciate anybody who's tuned in on TikTok and or on Chatmosa, including our guest, our live guest here on Chatmosa, Awesome Mary. Awesome Mary, how are you today?
I'm doing awesome. Hey, I wanted to make a comment about that the Fox song.
Yeah.
These guys actually created that song just as a joke, and they thought, let's put the song out there and see how it comes out. And it's so cool that it like took off. It's a funny song, and people needed to laugh, and that's why it took off.
But didn't they do it to kind of prove a point that your music doesn't even have to be good to make it? Isn't that kind of what they did? That's what I vaguely remember. But you're right.
Yeah.
They're just testing the system to see if it actually works or not. So, Steve-O, introduce yourself, and then we'll get to our guest today.
It reminds me of the book I wanted to write called The Accident Driven Life. You know, there's one out there called The Purpose Driven Life. Accident fits me a lot better. I mean, things happen by accident, but if we pay attention, right, oftentimes those accidents are not accidents. They're good things actually driving us toward our purpose. My name is Steve. My friends call me Steve-O, so please call me Steve-O. I'm a messenger, and I'm here to help you navigate, activate, and advocate your happy. I help by bringing healing, encouragement, laughter, and by making you ponder. And we do a lot of that through Happy Life Studio. And you can find us just by searching Happy Life Studios online, or happylife.studio is our webpage address, just happylife.studio. We also have happylife.lol, believe it or not, which is pretty cool. But we're here to turn the light on. We're here to bring some happy. We're here to bring some hope. And we are here. I'm here with Joe because we want to pour you. You know, when a lot of people go to the bar to get some liquid encouragement, they call it. Well, we're here to give you some digital encouragement. We want to pour some courage into you, some happy into you, some hope into you, some peace into you. In fact, we just had a really cool comment from someone from Camille, who heard our last show. I hope I can say this, so I'm going to say it and ask for forgiveness later if I need to. But she just said, I watch you guys, and you guys are like these angels, just reminding me of things. I'm like, dude, I can't think of a cooler thing to say about what we're doing here. And we want to laugh a lot because laughter is important, right. You know. But thanks for letting us into your phone, into your computer, wherever you watch us from. That means a lot to us. Absolutely. Joe here, on the other hand, is the same way. If you go to Mojo, MOJOE.com, you can get his blog, video. .studio, MOJOE.studio. Mojo, tell those listening a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I like to call myself a playful polymath, which just means I have expertise in more than two unrelated fields. So I'm an accomplished, recently published musician, songwriter, singer, play several instruments. I also do podcasting, obviously, and blogging, and I'm a graphic designer, and on it goes. So, you know, you live long enough, you get to be expert in lots of different things. Yeah. So all that's just to say, I'm old, but I'm not dead yet. I'm not dead yet.
Oh, what? You're red? What?
That's right.
You're a red jet? What?
Look at the curmudgeon sitting up in the bleachers for the Sesame Street.
He is from the 1900s, folks.
That's right. I was back from the 1900s. Yes.
Mid 1900s.
Hey, let's not be so specific. I resemble that remark. Anyway, it is my mission as well to help, but I'd like to do it through this word play, Play. That's my 4-letter word. That's my favorite 4-letter word, and it stands for pretend, which is unleashing your imagination, laughter, same as Steve-O's, A for ask. Ask is curiosity, to cultivate that curiosity inside of you. Also, because curiosity suspends judgment, and judgment is so damaging. And then Y, yield. And the two ways to yield, one is to let go and to let God, and the other is to see the fruit of the seeds that you plant is a yield, right? A yield is at your harvest. All right, so let's jump in. I want to just a quick recap. We just finished our first half hour for today, and we talked at length about taking the stuff that's deep down inside, especially that's in the darkness, and bringing it into the light for healing, not rather than denying it's there or pretending like it didn't matter, it didn't affect me. Right? I had to bring it out into the light in order to find healing. And some of you already know that story, and I'm not ashamed to talk about it now because I'm free from that being stuck, from that sliver in my heart. But Mary, awesome Mary, was in that conversation. She was listening to the last half an hour. And as we do each week, we invite anybody who is listening the first half an hour to join us the second half hour and to give a comment, a question, contribute however they wish. So Mary, first introduce yourself and then lead us into this discussion for this half hour, if you would.
Hi, everybody. My name is Awesome Mary on all platforms, and I am a web designer. I work from home in the beautiful state of Colorado, and I am thankful. I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful for my kids. I have 2 kids, and I get to work from home, and I love it. I'm so thankful for that. And I was thinking about thankfulness today because once a month I get these cleaning ladies that come to my house and they clean my house. And today was the day. And it's so amazing because I don't know how they do this, but every time they vacuum, they leave this beautiful pattern on the carpet that makes me so happy. It's like, oh, my house is clean. And I love it, love it, love it. I'm so thankful that I can do that. And I always look forward to when they come in. And I was thinking about that. I was like, oh man, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful today that, it's like after they're done, I just walk around the house and I'm like, oh, this is so awesome.
So Mary, if I might jump in there, I didn't expect this, but it's such a great tie into what we were talking about.
Yes.
Because this monthly cleaning service you've got to come. I mean, you may not even tell how dirty your house is after a month, right? Because you think, oh, it's not that bad. They cleaned it last month, and yet they find dirt and they clean it and they clean things up, and you feel so much better about that. And I thought, boy, that's such a parallel. It echoes. It's a metaphor, really, for what we're talking about. Is that the stuff that gets gucky inside of us? If we hide it, if we deny it, if we don't clean it out, if we don't bring it out to the light, it doesn't get better. It doesn't go away. It actually gets uglier. It gets worse. It gets smelly. It gets stinky. It festers, as we talked about. So how cool that today was cleaning day for you. And in a sense, what we were talking about earlier in the early half an hour was cleaning out the guck in our life so that we can be free from the stuff in the shadows. Yes, Steve. Steve.
I agree. I have a whole other metaphor for what you said.
Please.
But I wasn't going to jump in because I was like, well, I don't want to interrupt. But since you gave a metaphor, I'm going to do the same thing. Whole, I've tried to get my wife that for a house, because sometimes she complains that the house is dirty, hasn't had time to clean it. And I think it's always good to have somebody come in, if you can pull it off, even if you don't pay them, someone to come in, somebody else to clean, helps you out. Number one. Number two, they see things you don't necessarily see and stuff like that. But the analogy that I got, the metaphor that I got out of that was, like, for my wife, I can never do it because she always has to clean the house before we can have the cleaners come.
Yeah.
So she loves the idea of it. But then I'm like, babe, that's what we pay them for, to clean the house. Now, here's the metaphor. Okay. Oftentimes we don't allow people to see how dirty we feel inside, how ugly we feel inside, how unworthy we feel inside. We want to get ourselves cleaned up first. And a lot of people do this even when it comes to God. Like they put off. It's so funny because God is a God who's slow to anger, the Bible says, who is mighty in love. I don't know if you believe in God or not. Maybe you believe in the universe, whoever's watching this, whatever. But a lot of times God, the point of God is God loves to help, and he loves to heal, and he loves to clean. He loves to clean dark spaces. God is the light. So he loves to expose darkness. But oftentimes, and I'm using that as an illustration right now to try to make a bigger picture here that we do as humans, but we don't want God to come in and look at our house. I remember the one time I made a mistake for my wife when we were just first married, and I brought my friend to the house, and without asking her beforehand, she's like, "The house is a mess." I'm like, "We're guys. I didn't know it was a mess. We don't even see it that way, you know." But the whole point of sometimes we don't want to let people know how bad we feel because we got to get ourselves cleaned up first. Well, if we get ourselves cleaned up first, we wouldn't need each other. And as long as I'm on the God category here in the creation story, when God made everything, afterwards he was like, "It's good, man. That's good." It's like Bruce Almighty. It's good. It's good.
Good.
No, that's good. Yeah, that's right. That I'm thinking of a Chevy Chase in Christmas Vacation. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Anyway, after every time he created something, he said that. But when he made human, he made one human, and he said, "This isn't good. This person's alone." And sometimes we need people to help us. And I shouldn't say sometimes. We need people to help us clean us. We need people to help us get happy, to get hopeful, to turn that light on that we can't always turn on by ourselves. And we don't want to get to the place where we got to do a lot of it. You know, do you understand what I'm saying there, Joe? Bail me out here. I've gotten in over my head. But do you understand what I'm saying there?
Yeah, and I'm going to hand it back to Mary, but I think what you're saying, Steve, at least what I'm taking from it, and by the way, I just want a little quick caveat here. What Steve-O is saying and what I'm hearing aren't necessarily the exact same thing. This happens in communication all the time. When we give our words away, we give them as a gift, and they're like a container, but somehow the meaning often dumps out between my mouth and somebody else's ears, and they pour their own meaning in there based on their own experience. But what I took from that, Steve-O, is that that we have been designed as social creatures, as social beings. We are designed to need each other. In fact, how is that? How do I know that's true? Because when a human is born, it cannot survive without someone taking care of it for the first several years of its life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the few mammals that it cannot survive without parents or without some caregiver because it can't feed itself. It can't take care of itself, can't clean itself, it can't walk. Like all it can do is breathe and poop and pee and cry and maybe sleep sometimes, because my babies didn't sleep for the longest time. But all that to say, I mean, it's as Arnold Schwarzenegger says, there's no such thing as a self-made man. None of us brought ourselves into the world. We couldn't even have survived without others. It takes a village, and it takes a village. And then we get to this place where we think we're all independent. Oh, I don't need anybody. Well, that's a false notion. And in fact, I want to hand it back to Mary, but my last point here is along what I took from Steve-O saying. I heard a great interview. Maston Kipp was talking about how he interviewed some of the most successful people in the world, and most of them behind closed doors would say they were unhappy. They can't believe this is what life is like after all this quote unquote success. But there was a tiny sliver of them that were elated. They were overjoyed. They loved their life. And he tried to correlate, is there anything they have in common? And there was one thing. They didn't take credit for getting there alone. They said, there's no way I'd be here without all the people in my life that helped me get here. And they just named one after another, from a custodian to a teacher to a landlord or whatever it was. Because the truth is, none of us succeed alone. We can't even survive alone. Okay, so Mary, let me hand it back to you. Take it wherever you want.
I love that. I love that because I am one of those people that like to be independent and not ask for help from anybody. And sometimes it gets me in a place where I need healing and I don't have anybody to call. So thank you for that reminder. But I love how I tell a story and you guys like bring out the metaphor out of it. So I'm going to tell you another story.
Please.
When there, it's like what Steve was saying. Like I didn't want people coming to my house and my house looking dirty or ugly or whatever. And I remember we were living in Virginia. And we were going to have a dinner. My husband invited some people from the church to come over. And I lived in a split level house, and the foyer, as you walk in, the tile was like it was like a vinyl, and it was like kind of like torn up, and you could see like the wood underneath and everything. And the people that we bought the house from, they had left some tiles and, some of the plastic vinyl tiles in the back. And I thought, you know what? I could probably fix this before dinner. And so I decided that I was going to, oops, somebody's in my front door. So I decided that I was going to take this project, like, I don't know, 4 hours before the dinner. And I started,
Wow.
I started pulling the vinyl off the foyer, and I went to get the boxes with the new vinyls tiles, and I popped my back.
Oh, no.
I went down
Oh, no.
so hard, and I could not move. I
Oh,
could
no.
not move. I had to crawl to the phone and call my husband, and I said, you need to cancel right now because I need to go to the hospital because I can't even move.
Oh, no.
And so, yeah, and so all because I wanted to pretend that my life was perfect over some stupid tile that, they probably would have never noticed because, they walk in and they walk upstairs to, to our dining room. And so, yeah, I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
So tell me.
So, Mary, here's what I'm taking from what you're saying. Again, this may not be what you intended, but this is what I received from what you're saying. Is well, actually, the first thing that comes to mind is what Jay Shetty teaches, and he teaches this. He says, "We're so afraid of what somebody else is going to think."
Yes.
But the truth is, we have no idea what anybody else is thinking, unless they tell us. Even then, they may not be telling us exactly what they're thinking. So what we're really afraid of isn't what other people are thinking. We're afraid of what we think other people are thinking.
Right.
It's actually happening inside of us. We're afraid of the judgment that we think somebody else is going to have upon us, right? And so we go to great lengths, and your example is perfect. We go to great lengths, even to our own demise, even to our own. We can harm ourselves by putting on this air of perfection because we're afraid of what somebody else is going to think. They might not be thinking that at all, and they might be thinking, we have no way of knowing that, but it's our own judgment of what we fear somebody else is going to think about us. And what a terrible way to live. Steve, jump in.
And I like that you said that, because that helps me because I'm a word picture kind of guy. I'm an image guy. I'm a visual person. So when you said that explains what I was trying to explain at the end of my tirade there, whatever you want to call it, dialogue. But you could have just had them come over to your house with the imperfect linoleum.
Yes.
But you wanted to come across as, I need to get this linoleum fixed before I can have anybody important come to my house.
Yes.
And Joe has used this quote many times. So I know if I get it wrong, he's going to correct it, because Joe, he knows this stuff. He's got an incredible memory. But how does it go, Joe? Those who matter don't mind. Right. And those who don't mind,
those who mind don't matter.
Yeah. Right. So what I'm saying is, we don't have to keep fixing all the tile in our life to allow certain people in. Now, sometimes there's some people we don't just open up to everybody. You don't let everybody into your home, so to speak. You don't. Right. So there is a little bit of a filter there. But when you have friends, we don't have to get our lives perfect. We don't have to get ourselves more clean so they can come in and help us. Instead, we just need to say, man, I am really broken, and I just am struggling today, and let them in with the bad linoleum and all, so you don't throw your back out.
Yes.
And the linoleum, like, in reality means like your stuff, like, your imperfect person, and be real.
Your imperfections, yes.
To that reality that we talked about several episodes back. Yeah.
So since we're on the topic of imperfections, my favorite analogy about imperfections, which I think is a metaphor.
Don't start talking about me, Joe.
For my whole life, no, is the Japanese art of kintsugi, because in this Japanese art of kintsugi, for those who don't know, it's KINTSUGI.
So cool.
This ancient art where when a gorgeous porcelain bowl or vase falls and breaks, they don't sweep up the pieces and throw them away. They actually save all of the pieces, and they have artists who their whole life is dedicated to putting the pieces back together. But the best thing about that for me is they don't try to hide the break. They don't try to hide the seams. They don't try to hide the fact that it's been broken. They actually, when they weld it back together, they weld it together with silver or bronze or some precious metal, which is obviously there. The weld is part of the pattern of it being put back together. And here's the philosophy behind it, which could bring me to tears, is that because no vase or bowl would ever shatter the same way, the pattern of the brokenness, when put back together, is now, not only is it beautiful, which it actually is, but it makes it even more priceless, because now it's one of a kind. There's no two porcelain bowls that would ever break the same way. So the pattern that's put together makes it, that's the signature of that whole, and this makes it gorgeous. And here's what I haven't said oftentimes when I share this analogy is my friend Pete, I was telling him about it, and he tells his wife, Nicole, and Nicole says, hey, guess what, Pete? In this process of being put back together, a lot of times there's pieces missing in the process. And Pete's like, yeah. And he says, imagine the vase has like a lamp or a candle in the middle. And Pete goes, yeah. Where does the light shine through? And Pete says,
yeah, the missing
places where the missing pieces are, right? Oh my God, right? And so I'm like, oh my gosh, the analogy is even better because in our brokenness, and I've heard this said from different sources, it's in our points of weakness that we truly connect. We most profoundly connect with another human being, not in our points of strength. Brene Brown is one of the champions of this. You put on your armor, you've got it all together, and people can admire you, but they can't relate to you. But when you say, I'm struggling and I've got a hole missing, well, the light shines through that hole and people are like, ooh, I recognize that. I've got holes like that too. And now I can relate to you. And so relationships, we relate to people, not on our points of strength, which is a false narrative that many of us have bought into, but on our points of weakness. And that's where we build really profoundly important relationships.
So when we are broken, instead of trying to fix ourselves first before we go to somebody, when we go to somebody and show our true brokenness, their love, their acceptance, that's the gold.
Yeah.
That's the precious metal that makes our brokenness so beautiful.
That's right.
Right? So your brokenness is a part of your value. It's part of your beauty.
Whoa, slow down. Gotta say this. Your brokenness is part of your
beauty.
Value.
Part of your value.
Beauty. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's true. It's true. Absolutely.
And but if we never let people see us broken, then when they can never help us put it together, and we miss a kintsugi part. We just a broken mess that we hide from others, and we put it underneath the bed. We put it back in the closet, so to speak. We don't want anybody else to get in there. Versus saying, "Here's what it is today. I feel like poop." Right. Yep. And I feel like, and their love shows up, and they begin to put pieces together. And some of us, honestly, some things take years, maybe our whole lifetime to get put together. Yep. But your life, your vase, so to speak, is valuable enough to make that worthwhile. And I think it's also the fun of kintsugi would be making that into art. I think the artist must love putting those vases back together. I think God loves putting us back together. Yeah. And I know I love helping people. When I can help somebody, when I can kintsugi them, dude, that is a great thing. It's a great thing.
I love that you said that. When I can kintsugi them. That's so cool.
Yeah. He just took a noun, he turned it into a verb. I love it. When I can kintsugi somebody. That's awesome, Steve and Mary. And so whether it's the linoleum, whether it's the sliver in my heart, whether it's the kintsugi metaphor, all of this, I think, is a message. And by the way, Happy Half Hour is unscripted. In fact, we weren't sure what the topic would be when we started our first half an hour tonight. And Austin Mary, our producer, she says, just start talking. It'll come to you. You guys always have something important to say and something valuable to say. And this is what's come out, right? And it really is. It's really important. It's valuable. It's beautiful. It's messy, but it's being put together even as we talk, right? So the analogy continues. And I love this. And so Steve-O has hinted at, his faith. And I just want to say for me personally, and I'm not here to preach to anybody, I'm just here to say for me, when I think about, hold on. It's, my TikTok wants to know if I'm really a real person. I'm a real boy. Okay.
I want to be a real boy.
Yeah, but in terms of faith for my own personal journey, when I think of the kintsugi analogy, that precious metal, that the weld that puts me back together is the blood of Jesus, right? The most precious substance ever, and puts together, and it's not invisible. So this idea of, with the linoleum, I want to make it look like it's never.
Can I just pause you for a second there, Joe? Just tap into those that might not know, what does the blood of Jesus actually represent, right? Sure. It isn't just the blood. That sounds kind of weird to someone if they're not sure of that. Right, but what does the blood of Jesus, when you say that, what do you really mean by that? Can you reword that?
Yeah. So what I mean by that is, in my understanding of who Jesus is and what he did and my belief system, he made the ultimate sacrifice because I was broken and needed help. Not because I was worthless, but because I needed to be put back together. And so my understanding, especially through this metaphor, is that when Jesus died on the cross, it wasn't because he did anything wrong. He never made a mistake. He did it because the rest of us were doing stuff wrong and we needed help. And he's like, I can help. I have the weld to put you back together.
Yeah.
Those of you
to me, that shedding of the blood, that's the love. That's the love that God did to put us back together again. And Joe and I both have this, and Mary does too. At least some of the stuff that I've seen have her online. But that's one reason why I'm a friend of God, because he gave his life, which really was, he did it because he loved me. And that love is the precious metal that takes my brokenness and kintsugi's me. I mean, yeah.
Absolutely. So good. Okay. Wow, so good. I think we've actually almost covered our half an hour. We got a few more minutes, but Mary, is there anything else that comes to mind that you wanted to cover based on either this particular half hour or the last half hour that you were in on, or something you want to add?
Well, I'm going through my own, going through my own brokenness and going deep into the shadows of it and pulling out things I didn't even know were there that were affecting me. But when I realized that there's patterns in my life that kept going, over and over again, I realized, okay, there's something there. There's something there that I need to pull out and bring into the light so that it doesn't continue to affect me.
Good job.
And and it doesn't have to be like this huge thing. I mean, where I'm like, oh, I'm so depressed. I mean, it could, every person is different, but being intentional about digging deep, and so that's what I've been doing. I've been, being intentional, just praying, journaling. I even have a book called The Inner Child Recovery Workbook that I got. And I love that we're talking about this because I'm heading out to Reno to be with my daughter, and I believe that she needs some healing as well as, and a lot of it comes from her childhood, and it was part of her childhood. So I'm so excited that I can bring some of these little tidbits that you guys have, little gold nuggets that you guys have been speaking about, and bring them to her as well, and bring her some healing or relief at least. Yeah.
It also goes back a bit what we talked about in the last half hour, which we really haven't tagged as much into this one when in another direction. Mm-hmm. But in the last half hour, we were talking about how you don't have to. Maybe it was this half hour, but when you're going through what you're going through, it wants to know if I'm a real person. I'm a real boy too.
Welcome to TikTok.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron Snyder.
Then the real trolls that are out there that never works. I don't know if it made it happen. I'm dragging the puzzle piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that, I was really impressed, Joe, when that happened to you. You kept right on track. And I was like, if that happened to me, I would totally lose my place. And that's really what did. What I mean here is that you're going through an emotional surgery right now. Mm-hmm. You saw there was something going on with you. And so you're as concerned with mental fitness as you are mental health. The mental health is going to follow, but you're trying to get yourself mentally fit. Mm-hmm. And so you're going to some places, some dark places, and you're going in there and you're turning your light on. You're trying to figure this thing out as you're going in there. Well, when you go into some of those dark places, that doesn't mean you're happy because you're fixing something, but you don't jump up just like a person in ICU didn't jump up. Woo, the surgery's done. No, you can be content. You can be happy. You can be at peace, but you got to take it slow sometimes. And that's what we kind of talked about in the last episode, is that you can be happy and still just feel melancholy or still feel. That doesn't mean you're not being happy. It just means your body needs to chill out. You need to slow down, and something's going on inside. So let it happen. Don't run from the darkness. Face it, confront it. And if you got to feel sad to be happy, then allow that emotion. That emotion is there for a reason. Allow it to be there. Don't allow it to be there so you can wallow in it. But it's how we get that sliver out. It's how we get that wound cured, is we allow to go in there and we remove it. And so, good conversation, guys. I've loved the last 2 half hours with you. I've just hope you guys listening and watching have enjoyed it as well. But thanks, man. Thanks, guys.
So for those who are wondering, what was Steve talking about? Be sad to be happy. It's the process of going through, right? So the analogy that I always think about there is actually just from watching the Survivor show. If you ever watched Survivor, any of the episodes, you get to the very end and there's just one winner and they interview the winner, and the winner every season says something along these lines in their own words. They say, "This was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I thought I was going to die. If somebody would have told me I had to go through all this to get to here, I never would have signed up. Mm-hmm. And yet, it's the best thing I ever did." Big smile on their face. Like, I can't believe I got through that. Yeah. I can't believe I won. Right? Yeah. And I'm saying that is exactly what we're talking about here. It's exactly what we're talking about.
Great analogy.
That it is difficult. It's hard. It's going to take more out of you than you can imagine. You might, if someone told you how much it's going to take for you to get the surgery done inside of you, you'll say, forget it. I'm not going to do it. But guess what? It's the best possible thing. And when you get to the end, like every Survivor episode, like every parent for that matter, you're going to say, that sucked. And it's the best thing I ever did my whole life.
And you know, they're going to get home. They might have their moments of woo, where they're just like, but before the night's done, you know, they're going to be sitting on the couch going, oh.
Yeah,
it was like how I felt last week when I did that parade. It's when I helped my brother-in-law move all those heavy stone pavers. I was so wiped out and so worn out. I felt so happy, but I wasn't going, woohoo! I just moved a ton of bricks, right? Literally.
But metaphorically, that's what we're talking about. Right. Yes.
But what I'm saying is I'm happy, but I still was this moment of, oh, and so you can be, or you can be like rubbing your head sometimes and going, life is good. Life is hard, but life is good. And I'm winning. I'm a survivor.
Mary, jump in.
I don't want to prolong this longer, but that's exactly how I feel. Like there's times where I'm crying. There's times where I have like this anxiety and I'm going through all these different emotions. But in the end, I'm like, wow, I'm so glad that I vomited this out of me. It's almost like a vomit out of me. Yeah. It's like a cleansing. And it's like, okay, now I see the light. I see the light from that. I put some light into that darkness and I was able to, see, oh man. And the things that God reveals, it's so amazing. I mean, for me, the things that God reveals, and he's like, do you remember when this happened to you? And I'm like, yeah. Okay, that's the root of why this and this. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, revelation after revelation. It's really cool.
Yeah. Really cool. So I just want to capture Mary's words because she's highlighting exactly why we do what we do here. She says, I went into the darkness. I had to examine things that I didn't even know were there and how they were affecting me. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad that I was vomiting these things out of me. I'm so glad I was getting the stuff out of the shadows that were festering. I'm so glad. So this idea of happiness is not toxic positivity. It's finding the gladness in the pain,
in the thankfulness, in
every circumstance,
the beauty in the ugly, the kintsugi in the brokenness.
Yes, right on. Woo, so good. So I want to thank Awesome Mary. I want to thank Happy, who's been participating in the chats, who is also the founder of Chatmosa, chatmosa.com, which that's the platform which we're using to broadcast and to send this podcast on all of the different platforms after the fact. You can find that at chatmosa.com. I want to thank Steve O'Hays, right there, my buddy here and my co-host, for getting me into the world of podcasting. I wouldn't be here right now if it weren't for you, brother. So I want to say thank you to you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right. So that's it for a happy half hour tonight. I'm so glad you're here. And we'll be here on next Monday, about 5:30 p.m. Pacific, to talk about what happiness is and what it ain't. Oh, what happiness is and what it ain't. Yeah, welcome to the happy half hour with Steve O'Mojo, Rosemary. Happy half hour. Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better.
No, you couldn't. So,
Peace in.
And peace out. Love you guys. Bye.